Hi, I'm Kita, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, go on ahead and hit that subscribe button, and if you're already a subscriber, welcome back. Alright, so I decided as like a little tribute to DMX, because he's one of my top 5 rappers, and that kind of really hit me this past week because of everything that's been going on with him and being so close to the passing of my dad. My dad passed away 3 years ago. I decided to do my top 5 favorite rappers of the 90s, 2000s. And so I'm solo dolo on this one. And there's no mukbang. It's just me talking. And I will have a mukbang coming up soon. But this is just me giving my raw thoughts and opinions on what I listened to and grew up in and with in the 90s and 2000s, because I am an 80s baby. I was born in 83, and a lot of music came out back then, but these are the ones that really stuck with me, my top 5. And of course, I could yell out Tupac and all of that, but I wanted to go another route because he is one of my favorites, but he's not, for this specific video, in my top 5. So stay tuned. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, they are not bad if they're in my number 5 spot, but I went from 5 to 1 being my actual favorite, and I'll talk about my reasoning behind each person. I also wanted to say I am using my iPhone this go round. I wanted to test the quality of this camera as well as the longevity of the battery, because I have not charged it since I left this morning for work, and it is maybe a little past halfway. So I wanted to see how great is his battery, because if I was doing this on my phone that I just got all my contacts and things off of, this video wouldn't even be happening. And the quality of it, like I said, I just want to see. It definitely won't be happening on that other one too. So I am doing this for my iPhone. I'm gonna put it all together and see how it looks. So let me know what y'all think about the quality of it. I'll be doing my camera next week. I just wanted to do that for this go. I didn't want to do the setup. I just wanted to come at you from my camera, from my phone, and just do a little quick. This is gonna be a short video. Just my thoughts, my opinions, like I said, on my top 5. So coming in for me, and this is rap artists or groups, okay? So coming at you from my number 5. If you were born around the same time I did, you came up during that Cash Money, No Limit era. And it was almost like you had to pick a side. You couldn't like both. You had either No Limit or Cash Money. You wore your chains, you wore your bandanas. It's like you were just a part of the group. So my pick, when I did pick my side, it was Cash Money. So Cash Money is my number 5 spot. I will go back to a memory that I thought about with Juvenile, which I actually did get a chance to see him in concert one time. When he first came out with that song, High, I thought it was a joke. I didn't realize that was an actual video. I just thought somebody was being funny. And then I realized later on that no, this is an actual song. But the more I listen to it, just like any song, the more you listen to something, the more you really like it. And just the whole Cash Money era, how they did the videos, the startup for people, that music to me was just it. No Limit just could not touch Cash Money to me. I really just thoroughly enjoyed that era of music. Everybody knows that one song. I'm not going to go there because I'm trying to keep it PG. That one song that play, all you hear is that, you know what it is. And everybody just all turned up. And back then, that kind of music wasn't really going on. So to me, that was kind of like a start of how that era played out. And then the different people that were in that whole group, they branched off and did different things as well. So My favorite out of all of them is not Lil Wayne. It was Juvenile. He was one of my favorite out of that group. I liked BG too, but Juvenile was one of my favorites. I just really liked his music, and when he branched off and started going solo, I followed his career more than I did the other artists that were in the group. Now, I do like Lil Wayne. I like some of his music, and he, to me, seems to be the most successful since the breakup of that group, but my top one is definitely Juvenile. All right, coming at you with my number 4, and if you knew me back then, you would have thought this would have been my number 1, but my favorite at that specific time when he came out, he changed everything to me. And I don't mean for myself, I mean the music game, period, because you had those kind of rappers that were kind of breaking through, but he broke through and broke the mold. So I have him for my number 4 though, because as I got older, my thoughts and views on who I actually had as my favorite changed, but it was Eminem. I had all of his CDs, at least the first 3 went at that time frame, that whole genre. I had the 3 CDs. I played them religiously. You could listen to anything else in my car but him. And I have his, everything I got from him. I got the stickers and I put them in my book. I did everything around that rapper because, I knew the lyrics. I still do. I listened to his albums from my phone 2 weeks ago. I was just riding in the car and that's all I was listening to for that, because sometimes you just be in the mood for this and sometimes you be in the mood for that. But it was just so good. And when you look back on that, you kind of oh, I don't know. But at that time, it was music for the mood you were in. If you were mad at the world, he had songs for that. If you just wanted to chill and listen to something silly and out of the box, he had music for that. It was just so different. I am a stickler for music that tells a story. I'm not a big fan of this music that's out now. Some of the beats are really good and that's what catches me. But I'm not a big fan of just the da-da-da-da. I like when the song and then the video matches it, when it tells a story. When Slick Rick does a video or a song and it's relatable and you can listen to it from beginning to end and the video matches to what's going on, that's what I love. And a lot of Eminem's music, although some of the lyrics were very risque, told a story. And you couldn't tell me anything about this person. You couldn't tell me wrong. And he's still such a great, artist. And his daughter, I thought she was just amazing when she was a little person and being on his little songs and stuff. And then when she, got older, she still is absolutely beautiful. And he is just, to me, an iconic rapper. And I don't really know too many artists like him or in his caliber. Maybe Jack Harlow, one of the newer ones that I could compare to him, but he's not really comparable. His box is different, and I just really respect him as an artist, and I'm so thankful for the music that he produced. And he's just an awesome artist. I could meet one out of the, maybe 2 out of my top 5, he would definitely be the one I would want to meet. I would just want to go back to that time frame when I was growing up and listening to him and just ask him those kind of questions and just get an insight to what was in his head, what was going on. Because I knew his story. I went to the movies as soon as 8 Mile came out. I was a fan. You couldn't tell me anything. And he's great. Just great artist. I can't even dig anymore that I'm going to pop into my number 3. So coming at you with my number 3 is the reasoning behind me doing this video. It is DMX. me and my mom are like super close. And she would buy the CDs of rap music and we would listen to them together all the time. LL Cool J, Jay-Z, and DMX. And we had those first 3 CDs, I believe. And I know a lot of kids, they don't have really a clue what's a CD because everything is so right there for them in their hand. But a CD back then was golden, especially if you can get somebody to put the songs that you liked, all the songs you liked on just one CD compared to all the songs you like on your phone. Like, that's what you had just, and we didn't have that phone aspect back then. Back then we had Snake on the phone, so just think about that compared to now. But I shedded a few tears when I found out he passed away. But I knew his struggles. Everybody did. He talked about it, and he didn't hide it. He didn't hide who he was. But despite that, like I put a post on my page about he is a true definition of persevering when your hand that's dealt to you isn't the best hand. He could have gave up so many times. And his motto to life, and like when his mom was doing the things that she was doing to him and letting the guys that she was with doing that, and how she dropped them off at like a reform place and left him, his outlook on that, he just took it. And he just said, I'm still here. I'm still here. That was his outlook on everything. Despite the fact of what happened to him, I'm still here. And that is why his lyrics were so close to me when he said it. No, I couldn't relate to the things. And like I heard in one of the other videos, he was like the anti-Puff of that time. Puff was from the same area. P. Diddy was from the same area. And when he did it, he had the big, like, planes and money everywhere. And DMX was like, no, I'm from the streets and I want to make music for the streets. And his music was more relatable to those people that were in those same situations as him. And the words told a story. Like I said, it's one of my favorite things when those words tell a story. His words told a story. And you could follow along with it. You felt the pain when he talked about stuff. You felt the joy when he found the joy in things. He is truly going to be missed. Truly. I was looking forward to the new music that he was getting ready to come out with. And I mean, this man is a legend. I can't even fathom the fact that he's gone. And he just couldn't fight this demon. As much as he talked about these demons and battling against them, this is just one demon that he just couldn't get away from, couldn't get rid of. And he's just very, like, gone just too soon. Like, 50 years old, he's gone from us. And I just pray for his family and hope that his lyrics and his message and his meaning live on in our hearts and everybody else that was around him, to know that he prayed for other people, like, more than he prayed for himself. Like, he didn't even pray for himself, like, he prayed for other people. So you know he had God in him, despite the fact that he said, even though I was doing those drugs, God was right there beside me while I was doing them, because he's always there for him. And he was just, I don't know. I just, he's gonna be missed. And that music will always live on. I think my favorite song by him is Slippin'. The words of that, I mean, the imagery, when you listen to the words, he's talking about his struggles in that song. The imagery that you get, I mean, the video matches the words too, but if you're just sitting there in the car, you don't have a video in front of you, and just, bobbing and listening to music, and those words are just so deep, and they talk about those struggles that he had, and what he did and how he was messing up and what he has to do to get out of that, because now he had a child that he had to see about it. I mean, he has had 15 when he passed away. So despite the fact of the things that are going on around him, he just couldn't shake that off to be the person that he wanted to be. But he was the person that we all needed. We all needed those lyrics, those words, those thoughts, so that we can carry them on throughout us. So he's in my top 3. All right, so for my number 2 from the 90s, 2000s area, I didn't want to like just be like, well, it's just all guys. But I'm not also just throwing a female in here just for it. Like, this woman here, well, I mean, how can you compare how she stepped out of the box? Like, Missy Elliott is an icon. Like, she's an icon. And she was doing videos that nobody else was doing except for Busta Rhymes. Like, her and Busta Rhymes was like right up there with those weird videos. But they stuck in your head, like that big bubble thing she had on. Like that big black, like a trash bag thing she had on. Like, that stuck with you. But so do the words. She is so good and so talented. I love everything about this woman. I mean, even now, she can make music for the rest of her life, and I will still go out and buy it, because that's just how great I think she is. Her lyrics have not changed. Like, she, of course, people evolve, but her lyrics of, oh, well, Missy, you know, kind of, no. Like, the same energy she had from back then, she still has it now. The moves, the thought process, how she dresses. Like, this woman, I would love to meet her too. Like, this woman is just an iconic figure in the hip-hop community. Never mind that she's a woman. She just stood out as an artist, period. Her videos, her music, what she stood for, how close she was with Aaliyah. I love you, Missy. I wish I could meet you one day. I'm going to tag you in this video because I would love to meet you one day. And a lot of my favorite song by Missy, I should have did a favorite song for each one, but oh well. My favorite song by Missy is the one with her and Outcast, where she was in the rain, but not like I Can't Stand the Rain. When she was singing the song called All in My Grill, she was on, not, she wasn't singing, but she had, was it Nicole Ray? I can't remember, but I don't know. I can name so many songs by her that are a favorite, but I think that one might be my favorite one with her and Outcast. And she's just amazing. Just amazing. But yes, she is my number 2. All right, so here we are with my number 1 rap artist from the 90s and 2000s era. And if you also knew me back in that time and know me now, because they're still my favorite today, it is Outcast. Nobody to me can compare to them. Talking about telling stories, like these guys here, the art of storytelling. I mean, Outcast just cannot be touched. I was listening to my favorite is Andre, but I like Big Boy too. Just that to me screamed 90s. Like, just screamed the 90s, early 2000s. That band music, while we were in, high school, and everybody, even now today, they still use that Spodio Dopalicious beat when they're playing the drums and the horns and things. And they're so different. Like when they first came out, they kind of dressed the same. But then as time evolved, Big Boy was more, to me, urban-y, and Andre was more psychedelic. And despite the difference between the looks and the thought processes and how when they both branched off to do their own thing, it still worked. It still made a difference between how stuff should flow. Like these men, I don't know if they ever had any problems with each other. I don't have a clue. But you can tell from listening to these words, these lyrics, how they were together. In the top. And I would love for anybody to challenge me on why Outcast should not be in anybody's top 3. Like, I would love to hear, girl, guy, we can get back on a video together if you want to. Challenge me on why Outcast should not be in a top 3 when it comes to this time frame right here. I would love to see it. One of my friends, God bless the dead, my friend Cedric, we loved listening to Outcast. Like, we talked about them constantly. They were the true definition of an icon of the times, and their music is still iconic. These kids today don't have a clue about how great music was back then, especially those. One of my favorites, because I have so many from them, is The Whole World. I love that one. And Rosa Parks, I can rap that from beginning to end. I rap that. There's so many songs I could rap from beginning to end, know all the lyrics. I just can't even name like all of them. Like, it's hard to find one that you just don't like. So thank you, Outcast. I would love to meet Andre. I try to find him, but he's very not really social media aspect. Like, I'm following Big Boy on Instagram, but Andre is kind of how he is, and I mean, you can't do nothing but respect it. But I would love to know what is he up to these days. I wish I could have went to their reunion concert. Like, I want to meet him. I would love to meet Big Boy too, but I would definitely want to meet Andre and just tell him how much I'm thankful for him. Thankful for the group's songs with them and Goody Mob. I mean, like I said, challenge me on that. We can do a video together. Tell me why Outkast should not be in the top 3. Just, I'm for it. Just tell me. All right, you guys. So there you have it. Here are my top 5 music artists of my music rap artists, of the era, which comes of the 90s and the 2000s. If you grew up during those times, you know exactly what I mean. Those words that I'm telling you, you know, you feel it. I would love to do a video with somebody. We can come back and touch on this topic. Tell me your top 5. Tell me why you feel like my top 5 shouldn't have been in, like, what artists that you didn't agree on, who should have been there. Like I said, of course you're expecting to say Tupac. I mean, nobody can really compare to that guy, but I didn't want to focus on him. I wanted to focus on those other music artists that were coming up during that time frame, and you could vibe to them as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you all next week. And if you want to see my latest video that I did, please click here. And if you want to check out any of my other videos, I'm going to just pop one right here that you can. As always, subscribe, you guys. I appreciate you so much for following me, listening to me, supporting me. Thanks so much, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.